BMW took over Rover back in the 1990s, both the original MGF and Z3 were being prepared for public debuts in the UK and the USA. They would travel very different production paths, as the cash-starved MG never made it to the USA, which surely would have been its biggest market. Although they were both keenly anticipated, neither quite lived up to those great expectations. The F obviously suffered from the Rover Group's lack of development cash, especially for an advanced mid-engine layout on hydrogas suspension. Meantime, Z3's launched four-cylinder power units were no match for Mazda, especially as the BMW was rather portly in the curb weight department. Both MG Rover and BMW upped their sporty two-seater games. Always a bestseller in the UK, the F became MG TF, lost its tricky gas-filled suspension for conventional coil springs, and gained a tremendous 20% in body strength, mainly through internal bracing. And it is such an MGTF that we have alongside the BMW today. BMW simply slotted in their fabled six-cylinder motors. They came from sweetly inoffensive, as for this 150 horsepower 2-litre we have today, to a staggering 320 horses, lifted from the M3 and massaged into the extended Z3 range. Compared to the million-selling Mazda MX-5 or Unos, world record holders for two-seater sports car sales, neither MGs nor Z3 BMWs sold spectacularly. BMW shifted 279,000 soft-top Z3s, plus over 17,000 of the oddball but effective Z3 Coupe between 1995 and 2002. MG had 3 owners during a long sales life and made a total of almost 112,000. The majority were the first edition F. Finally, just 909 limited editions came out during Chinese ownership, so that basic mid-motor design staggered from 1995 to 2011. Today, both the MG TF and Z3 six-cylinder were bought for less than $2,500, which is very affordable when you see that a new 2-litre Mazda MX-5 demands £22,000. So what sort of proposition do these cheapies deliver in 2018? We asked Pete and Jerry. Hi, we're Pete and Jerry. At least that's Jerry and I'm Pete? No, this is Pete. What do you like about your MGF? Well, TF.
Yes, it's a TF actually.
Yes, it's a
actually
TF.
Jerry. Or are you Pete? No. It's an MG TF from 2004. Thank you. And I like the fact that it's slightly unconventional. It's rear-engined, mid-engined, as opposed to more conventional BMW, and it just has superb handling.
I was going to say it should handle pretty well with that layout.
Yeah.
Do you find that so?
I do find it so. Not that I've used it in any great anger at the moment, because I've only been driving it on the road, and one doesn't want to be a complete prat on the road. But I'm sure that I will find that the handling gives me
Great confidence.
I'm not so sure about confidence. But it will go round corners, that's what I'm saying.
And I should think it'd be pretty economical with that engine in, that K-Series.
Yes, it's proved to be fairly economical. I mean, I've only had it a few weeks, but so far it seems to be doing something between 30 and 35 miles per gallon, so I'm pretty happy with that.
And all with excellent durability over a few weeks.
Yes.
It's fabled for that, isn't it?
It is fabled for its durability.
But I believe you had a
Its driver's not.
I believe previous owners took some precautions, the obvious ones. What are they?
Oh, the obvious ones, well, there's always a problem with the K-Series engine with the head gasket failing. And the previous owner has replaced the head gasket on this with the triple layer head gasket.
My God.
And the other thing that can be a problem is the cooling pipes underneath the car, because the radiator's at the front, the engine's behind the driver, and underneath the car there are 2 cooling pipes, which on the standard car are mild steel. So what happens to them?
Rusty steel.
Yes, they rust. But I checked underneath, and they are stainless steel pipes. So that is a sort of fit and forget.
I believe you used a torch.
Well, no, I used my phone actually.
Yes, it's still a branch of upskirting though. Automotive upskirting. That's what's going on there.
No. I think you're getting confused with upskirting. That's something else entirely.
Okay, other things that you like about the MGF. Do you like the look of it?
I do like the look of it, and I particularly like this colour actually. This is a special edition. It is the Sunstorm.
It is a sunstorm.
Sunstorm, and one of the special colours that it came in is this one, which is Nightfire Red. And not only is it Nightfire Red, it has red brake calipers.
Yes, by Mr. AP.
Mr. AP and his racing boys,
No less.
apparently.
Well,
What do you particularly like about your bargain basement BMW, Jeremy?
I love the price. This is an exceptionally cheap one, which has a few faults that I will elaborate on later on. But basically, as with many BMWs, particularly older BMWs, it's all about the engine. It's got the classic straight 6 in. Sadly, it's not the 320 horsepower Z3M.
Oh, shame.
No, it is a shame, isn't it? But very good for my driving licence and the number of speed awareness courses that I have already attended. This is the smallest 6-cylinder they ever put in the Z3. People who've had the 320i will be familiar with it. It's a 2-litre, 6-cylinder with just 150 horsepower. Sweet as a nut, no torque, but a very sweet engine to have in a small car.
And is it economical?
No, not in any shape or form
Oh,
compared
right.
with my previous Lotus Elise, which was supremely economical and unreliable.
And I don't know,
This
because it had a K-series engine, I do believe.
It shares the engine and the powertrain, 135 horsepower, with the vehicle that Mr. Osborne has now purchased, despite my woes. The other things that I like about my BMW Posemobile are the seats. Now, why would I particularly like the seats? They are a very, very worrying tint towards gold. But a little plaque in the engine bay tells me that, in fact, this was one of BMW individuals' cars. And therefore, it was pulled off the main production line and attended to. This meant it had a number of M-look things, including the seats, which are much better than standard, and a rather nice chrome gear lever. Now, who wouldn't give a fortune for that? Apply at your nearest BMW dealer. Now, Peter, this is obviously a magnificent British automobile bought for entirely patriotic reasons.
Absolutely, yes.
What don't you like?
Well, actually, there's very little that I don't like about it,
Really?
except for one thing.
Tell. Pray tell.
If, by some chance, you happen to put your keys in the boot and then close the boot lid, you can't get in. And then you have to phone for a vehicle recovery man who will come out and take out two little plastic...
Don't tell them how, Pete. Don't tell them how.
No, I won't tell them how, because
took 'em a while.
you nefarious people out there might want to break into an MGTF.
More likely to be a Cosworth, isn't it?
Yes, well, indeed. But apart from that,
You love it.
and as you know, we had to call out a man.
Oh, yes. Yeah. But that really had an element of human error rather than car error. Are you sure there's nothing in the car that annoys you?
Only my keys being in the boot. Told you my problem with the MGTF. What don't you like about your BMW?
Well, you have to bear in mind it was bought very cheaply. So there are a number of faults on it.
Are you going to tell us how cheaply?
I don't think I am.
No.
I don't think I'm permitted to reveal that.
It was very cheap.
I have to. It was cheaper even than your vehicle. However,
Much cheaper.
at 140,000 miles, it has survived very well. The engine.
140,000.
140,000. What has yours got?
68.
Not Soissons, no.
No,
I see.
no, it's a British car, not French.
Oh, right. Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, what I don't like about the actual BMW Z3 design, rather than the faults that this cheapie has exhibited, is the fact that, in fact, it is not a very sporty car. It is very like driving an older BMW with the roof chopped off. It creaks, it has some road holding, but at the expense of a very stiff ride. Now this specific car has quite a few paint issues, as you would imagine, and it also has the seat bolsters, leather seats, well worn away. And I've found this with a number of high mileage BMWs that I've had. Otherwise, it's been a remarkably good experience. It's not quick. For something that's a sports car, it is not quick with this engine in, but it is sweet as a nut, and so far it's proved a very worthwhile workhorse, rather more exploitable and usable every day than my previous Lotus or the Frog Eye Sprite.
Would you say then that what you bought is a hairdresser's car?
It'd be a fairly hairy-arsed hairdresser to want this, but I would say the seats are absolutely ideal for those in the coiffuring trade.
Well, yes, you mean the colour.
Yes, which you describe as cack. I would say you have a personal problem.
We won't go into my personal problems at this moment, but I can assure you, listeners, they are cack.
Well, that's excellent. We've dealt with the weak and the strong points of our two vehicles, and maybe, if you like us enough, we'll be back to tell you more.
Indeed. So it's goodbye from him, and it's goodbye from me.
Good.